Blessings and welcome. I am Tuesday May Thomas, and this is your weekly tarot energy forecast. If you wonder why I'm laughing, it's because it's taken me many many tries to get this intro recorded. So we are going to be reading for May 28th through June 4th of 2018. I want to thank all of the new subscribers, everyone, all of my loyal just peeps in this community that show up, that watch my videos, that comment, that give me a thumbs up, and just share the love. I'm so very grateful for your time and your attention, all the goodness that you share. I receive it and I send it back to you. So thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. I pray and I affirm that all of my videos, everything I share here, truly serves your path of sovereignty and divine spiritual growth. As you know, or you may not know, I read the Osho Zen Tarot, but today we're guided to start by pulling a Voyager card. And a Voyager card, this is a little book, and you can get the big book by James Wanless. And I tell you, I've been using these cards for about as long as I've been using the Osho Zen, but these more personally. I don't read these for other people. And they're guided. They're guided for today, for us to begin and perhaps get an overview card from them. So here we go. We're going to take a breath in and out, call in our angels, our guides. We call you in, your presence, all the divine ways that you work, to channel through these cards, this Voyager deck, and offer us an overview card. One card, a message to give us some deeper insight into this week's full tarot reading. We thank our angels, our guides, all of those divine light beings who love us so much. We are so very grateful. We thank you for your presence. We thank you, our animal spirit guides, our totems. We are so very grateful for all of the angels that support us, that surround us, that open the way for us. Okay, we had a popper. Let's see what it is. Ooh, it looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Rejoicer, Woman of Cups. Woman of Cups, Rejoicer. I love the way he does these tarot cards because they're just like these beautiful collages of so many juicy, amazing, meaningful pictures put together. Woman of Cups, Rejoicer. Let's check it out. Like the seashell, lotus, and cup, you are receptive to light. You are receptive to life, it says. Let the beauty of life fill your heart. Hear, conch shell to ear, taste, moon in the drinking glass, touch, water on the skin, and smell life's sweet essence. You are deeply moved by life's surges and tides, oceanic in the depth of your feelings and spontaneous, yet judicious in their expression. Show your gratitude to life through the celebration of love, reverence, and bliss. What a beautiful, juicy card to receive as the overview. And I love all of this metaphor that speaks very much to our sensuality, to being in tune with our senses, and to really accessing their beauty and their gifts and the beautiful details, the information that our senses bring into this 3D reality. I'm so excited about that. Okay, so we've rested that at the top, and now we're going to get into shuffling the Osho Zen Tarot. So once again, let's take a nice breath in and out. And again, thanking all of our angels, all of those beautiful light beings who love us unconditionally. We welcome you, and we thank you for being with us. We thank you so very much. We are grateful for the ways that you divinely and spontaneously arrange these cards and channel through, offering the most high, the most divine. We had a popper or two there. The most divine, the most high messages. Ooh, we had a big chunk. So thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. Okay, so there's something that we're working towards transforming this week. First card up is isolation. And this card definitely speaks to us feeling very, in a way, stuck, but it's not. You know what I'm getting about this? Okay, let me tell you what the top cards are. So we have isolation, the outsider, and fighting, which is pretty deep. Okay. So, but what I'm getting about this is that this isn't necessarily a big, heavy, deep hole to fall in. What I'm getting is that this is something that's very, very dear to you. It's very, very close to you that you are having a little bit of emotional confusion about. And it is, what I'm getting is that it's something that you can't really share with too many other people. And so because of that, because it is a private, a sensitive, an intimate aspect of your own part of your path that you're healing, it feels that it's not really something that you're going to be posting on social media about. It's not something you're going to be talking to a lot of people about, even anyone at all. And in fact, it even feels like it's something that's so, so deep and secret, but really what I want to say is sacred, that you're even mindful of writing about it in your journal because it is so very sacred to you. Yet there's a turning point that's coming. There's a turning point because if we look at this character locked in ice, we see that the tears are beginning to fall. And the tears are metaphoric. The tears are just like the moving of ocean, the moving of the waters. And sometimes it does literally mean tears falling to have that breakthrough. But sometimes it just means like, oh, finally that shift of emotions. And we look at this card, we know, or we are remembering that all of the cards that have the gray in this diamond represent the cards of the mind, the faculties of the mind that are constantly in movement, the clouds that block the divine rays of the sun, that divine knowing, that divine truth, where you can come back to your true sense of power and authority and connect to source and have a clarity, right? So it seems like we're going into this week with a little unclarity and feeling a little bit like this chap here, like the outsider. Like we're maybe, just with regard to this one situation, a little disheveled, a little crisscrossed. There's a lock on the gate, but the lock is not clicked lock. The lock is not clicked locked. But looking out beyond, we see all of these beautiful colors. And these are those colors I feel that the Rejoicer card was speaking to, those colors within us that allow us to relax and to enjoy our sensual nature and to feel the feeling of the sun and the water on our skin and the sounds of creation. And there's a breakthrough here with regard to this aspect that is most sacred, that you are working out some emotions on. And we have to be mindful this week because there is a sense that if we do not allow ourselves to make a breakthrough, to transform consciously these feelings, and if they get stuck in the mind frame, in the mental sphere, then we can begin to enact the illusion of fighting, where we are fighting with ourselves, we are fighting with the mind, and it becomes a distraction and it becomes something that keeps us bound rather than something that can set us free. And that's what we're invited to this week. We're invited to find ourselves, to allow ourselves to feel and to emote, to have all those emotions, to really feel and absorb every part of it so that that energy can shift, so that we are not alone, so that the illusion that we have to do this all by ourselves does not stagnate and keep us locked in this block of ice. And I really feel for a clarifier. So let's take a moment and we'll just ask this divine deck, the Osho Zen deck, for a clarifier or two with regard to this top row, because I see shifts happening in the bottom row here. And let's just see what divine insight can the cards give us now with regard to this sacred secret, this something. Okay, we had a few poppers. That the sacred quality in our lives that's coming up now, that's seeking for a shift. It's seeking for a shift. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, so we had quite a few cards fall. Sharing, card of fire, morality, which is a card of the mind again, participation, card of fire, comparison, card of the mind. Remember, oh, hot diggity, compromise, and the lovers. Woo! Okay, so love and sex and sexual energy, that was all what our reading last week was all about. And I feel that this top row has to do with that exactly. So there's still a part of this that we're peeling back, that we're exploring, and I feel like we're having to re-examine our values. We're being invited to re-examine what is the right path to take, because perhaps there are feelings inside of you that want to go in one direction, yet the deeper part of you knows that that's not really what's going to happen or what's going to serve you. Yet there's a part of you, almost in fantasy, that feels like yes it can, or maybe it can. Yet the lines feel blurred. And we get to bring into focus our morality. What are your morals? And generally, there's a few different spectrums that we can talk about on this card, but generally she doesn't have a heart. She's just full on what is right, what is wrong. And I think there's, at the bottom line, without going too much more into what she means, because specific to this reading, what I'm getting is that she's saying you already know the answer. You already know the answer to your question, to your query, to whatever this is locked up and all about. You already know whether it's a yes or a no. But we find ourselves playing with the idea, we find ourselves questioning whether it is a yes or a no, living a little bit in a dream, comparing, well, if it did happen, what would it be like? Thinking about the way the situation is now compared to how it could be. And so we begin to compare and weigh out the possibilities. But this really just keeps us away from the promised land. This keeps us in a disheveled, confused place, because there is clarity. There is clarity around this situation with a lover. Again, whether it's a past life love, whether it is someone that you have a flirt with, whether it is someone that you've been with intimately, and that now that perhaps is over, or to the extent that you have shared with this person, that has completed itself and seemingly is at the end of its cycle. But there's a part of you that feels that maybe it's not, or maybe that sexual, intimate love energy is finding itself extending out in a different way, and so that is causing confusion. It could be with this person, and remember, with this person that was very specific a couple readings ago, where we had the lovers came up like 2-3 weeks in a row, and we did have this compromise card that came up with it, where there's a meeting of the mind, there's a meeting of the heart, where it's almost like, okay, you know, things have been awkward, things have been weird. Oh, that's right, the week that we did the M&M. The week we did the M&M reading, where you had to like own it, where there was some secret under the carpet, and before it got exposed to everyone, it was like you either M&M it and you own it, right? So that you've taken control, you've taken your power back from that situation, or if you don't, there's a chance that all of that information can come out, and if it's something that you don't want the masses to know, then you better be mindful, because it had the potential to open up into your circles. Where am I going with this? So it feels that we had this card, compromise, with the lovers last time. And with that, we were learning how to meet this situation, to meet this other person in the middle. We were learning how to hold our energy as a master with regard to this person, with this situation, and also allow the relationship, the way that we relate with this person, to evolve, to elevate, to transform. And you know, below this, on the part of this reading at the lower region, the bottom row, we have transformation, which is a major arcana. But I feel that there's this interesting energy here, sharing and participation. So, this is just, it's almost confusing, but it's not, because on one level, again, we know what the answer is. We already know what the truth of this situation is. Is it a yes? Is it a no? Are we beating ourselves up, trying to trying to compare that it's a yes, right, in our minds, when we know deep down inside, in our true where we have morals of what's right and what's wrong in the binary system of the 3D, when we know better, that it's probably not, that's not the way it's going to go down, or that's not the appropriate situation. Yet the outsider's a little bit, you know that card, the dream, that we pull up, the dreamer, the dream. The outsider's a little bit like that. It's like, the gate is shut, it's not locked, even though the chain and the lock is there, the lock is not clicked. And the outsider almost knows that once they compromise and go through that gate, the situation with the lover, the ex-lover, the partner, the new flirt, the whoever it is that's in your sphere of sharing intimately with your sexual energy, that's going to have to shift, that's going to have to change. And there's a part of us, I feel, that even though the dream card isn't here, I feel it in the outsider, that there's a part of us that thinks, because there's so many mind cards, there's a part of us that thinks that we want things to work out with this lover, right? There's a part of us that thinks that we want things to work out in a certain way. Now, if you're in a long-term relationship, this can speak to an aspect of your relationship that's seeking, that you know is on the verge, or that has been in the motion of transforming itself for some time, yet it hasn't come to its complete cycle yet. And this speaks to, you've made that compromise, and now it's seeing it through. Now it's the completion, excuse me, the completion of that and the actualization of that for both of you to really, really get it clearly, comprehend it, and begin to live it and bridge it down into earth. Yet there's something else here. There's something else. And you know what I'm getting? I'm getting that, I'm with the Rejoicer card, right? This Woman of Cups that we got from the Voyager. So even though we have compromised, I feel like there's more opportunity in a different way. That's what I'm getting. So you've created a certain value, a certain healthy boundary, or a certain understanding with you and your beloved partner, with you and your ex-lover, with you and whoever it might be that you have this sharing of intimacy in the past with, or that's been up lately. And even if that compromise was with yourself of like, okay, I just have to let this go. I just have to give this to the higher order. I have to give this to God because it's driving me crazy. There's a sense of, once we do that, there's that's what I'm getting. I'm getting that there's another opportunity to experience intimacy. And intimacy, I know we have the Lover's card, which it can totally get physical. Yet, let's come back to this Rejoicer card at the beginning. This is sensual. This is sensuality. This could be, this has legs. This has wings, because we do have sharing our light, being our truth. And look at, she's in a bubble. She's got her aura fully defined. She is a goddess, right? So whether you're male or female, that is your divine, sensual, feminine energy that you are radiating. She is fully contained in her sexuality, in her light. And when she shares her light, when she shares her goddessness, she's sharing it from a contained vessel, from a contained aura. She's not leaking. Remember, we talked about this a lot last week with leaky sexual energy. She's very mindful of where and how she shares her sexual energy. And she's very mindful of how and with whom she participates in with her intimacy, right? So I'm going around in circles here, but I feel that this is so meaningful because it feels that there is another opportunity. So given this person, this situation that we had been working with for the past month, or that, recent past, so to speak, there's like another situation here. I feel like it's spring, right? And the love, the lovers, the sensuality, the juiciness, the intimacy, the ways that we share and that we interact with one another. We are going to be invited to have another opportunity to share intimately. Now, this could mean the simple practice of opening up your heart and allowing love in, allowing someone else's love in. And this is tricky because we do have the lovers, but I do feel this is a closeness. This is almost like with someone, with someone that it's very surprising. It's with someone that it's very almost shocking or surprising that you would feel this energy towards. But it is the energy. It doesn't mean you're going to run off and get married and live happily ever after together. It is about the energy. It's about this high frequency energy that is encouraging you, that's saying, this is different, right? So we had this. This was one situation where there was a past lover, a past situation with your current romantic relationship where we've had to, for our own health and well-being, we know for the highest good of all that we had to come clean with it, bring it up, own it, compromise, right, with that. Yet I'm seeing this next version of this, or this next person embodying this opportunity for us to explore exercising our divinity, our sexuality, expressing and sharing and communing in intimacy, yet, I mean, really sharing. I mean, sensually, really participating, getting close, because these are fire cards. This is hot. These are fire cards, yet it doesn't necessarily mean sex. And last week, our reading was all about sex and understanding sexual energy and learning how to move that energy into the heart center and using that energy from the heart space to create the correct conditions to supplement, to nourish, to fortify ourselves, our energy, and those that surround us. So I'm still a little confused about this, but I do get that these are two very separate things. We have the ex, the one that we had worked with before, and now this is a new situation. This is a new energy that's coming in, that's inviting us to be that higher version of ourselves that we've been prepping, that we've been mastering, right, over these last weeks, of understanding our sexual energy and how to be with it and how to extend it and share it appropriately, how to hone it and to house it, to master it so that it doesn't master us, but that we can fully hold it and be a master of our own sexual energy is really where we're going this week. Okay, thank you, finally. Sometimes it takes 20 minutes before like the hook finally comes, and okay, so that's what I'm getting. But it is saying, this person that is not the person from before that we've compromised, this new person where this energy is like, really? What's going on here? Where you're paying attention to it and like recognizing it. You don't have to do anything at all about it. You can keep moving that energy up into the heart. But this is a new situation and you've been practicing, right? That first person, that one that you had the issues or the whatever with, that's been like homework, practice. And now here's like another situation and you're going like, oh my God, here's this sexual energy again, or here's this intimacy, or here's this pull, this push-pull. And deep inside, I know what the answer is, yet if I think about it too much, I'll never push through the gate. And the gate is saying, the gate is almost saying, go for it. It's a very, very fine line. The gate is saying, push through, go for it, enjoy. The rejoicer is saying, honey, get sensual. Honey, jump in that water, rub those oils on your body, you know, taste food, enjoy it, savor it, really look at someone in their eyes, really breathe with them, listen to them, extend and connect with them. This is a very juicy, sensual, grounded, earthy energy, but that has a lot of fire. And I feel that the playfulness that we can access, it doesn't have to go to sex. That's what I'm getting, is it doesn't have to go to sex. It can be a heightened level of sharing intimately that is truly from the heart, where there can be passion, there can be desire, there can be a little light down in the loins, but it doesn't have to be acted on it. We can learn how to share in each other's presence that energy, which is a part of this yoga tantra. I know I've talked about it a little bit before, but just understanding your sexual energy and how to hone it. And if you are guided to participate, to share in a more intimate physical way, again, to allow your higher self to have a presence in that exchange, to allow it to be higher, you know, and sometimes you just want to make out. Sometimes you just want to get down and dirty. Who am I to say what's right or wrong? You will know. But as always, these cards invite us. They encourage us to be a version of our higher selves as we move into that energy, because we know, or we are learning, that as we share and we extend and we exchange energetically through those lower chakras, right? And through that heart chakra, that it's a very distinct activation comes to happen, and a connection starts to happen. And so we want to be mindful what we are connecting to and who we are allowing to connect into us and on what level. And we want to keep the level high. We want to keep it in alignment with the frequency of love and of light. This is a part of our transformation. And you know, it's so interesting because on the bottom row we have transformation, we have the source, we have guidance, and we have success. So really, you can't mess this one up. You really can't mess this one up as long as you listen to the divine guidance of your higher self. That's why we always say that, to stay in tune with what your divine guidance is, because you will always be led down the path of your most high, of the most sovereign, and that which will create the least amount of karma for you to keep having to learn lessons, especially those lessons that are hurtful or harmful, or that just keep us away from our true power and authority, right? And so we are moving, what I'm getting is that we are moving through a gateway. And this sexual energy and these relationships and these lessons are such a big part of understanding how we navigate, how we connect with others, how we energetically speak to others through this network of sexual energy. And I feel that it's like this homework, it's like this assignment that we have, that we've been going through, and learning to honor it, learning to be playful in it, to participate in it, but again, to contain it, and from that space of containing our energy, to share our light. And I feel that that's what really this is all about. This is all about learning how to master those first couple of chakras, so that as we move into the space of transforming the old, we naturally align into what is the new. What is the new? Which is the new version of yourself? And we could really say that we're constantly transforming. But on the bottom row, this is the major arcana, and this holds the most weight in the game here in this reading. And if we look right down at the bottom, there's an individual sleeping. That's them face up, and there's a hand of this deity touching their mouth, wakening them up. And in the deity's hands there is a snake shedding its skin. You releasing old patterns. There's a sword cutting through the veils of illusion of one thing. You think something is one way, and then you have a shift in your consciousness, and you begin to see things in a completely different way. And then we have the phoenix rising from the flames. We have the yin yang. We have that lotus flower rising from the mud. We have breaking the chains of limitations. So, you know, and when you come into, and all this stuff about sexual energy is just about you learning who you are more. You really knowing thyself. And when you know thyself, when you come accustomed to not lying to yourself, to being honest with yourself, and really knowing, like, how do you use your sexual energy? How do you use it? Where do you hold it? Do you contain it? Do you extend it out? Do you extend it out where it's not wanted? Do you have a problem extending it out? Do you want to learn how to extend your sexual energy out more? Are you working on holding it and containing it more and not letting it be so leaky? All of these aspects are very, very important into our growth, into our spiritual growth, and again, learning who we are. The more we know who we are, the more we are in tune with our sexual mastery, right? With knowing who we are as a sexual third-dimensional being on this planet. And I feel that that's what we're gaining to transform. And as we go through this transformation, we're re-invited, because look this is source. This is the zero. This is fire. This is that second chakra. We are getting a full-on second chakra tune-up this week. Oh, feels so good. It does. I'm already feeling mine. Tune up. And we have the Rejoicer, right? This Woman of Cups card at the beginning. This is all sensuality, opening ourselves, feeling feeling through the body's senses, being activated, being attuned, being tickled, you know? I don't know. I feel there's this energy that's ready to be activated. I don't know whether you rub someone's feet and they rub your feet, or you rub their feet and they rub your shoulders, but there's some exchange where, again, it doesn't have to get sexy or sexual. It might get sexy, but it doesn't have to turn into sex. But there's this sharing and participating of intimacy. It's like the real tantra gurus. It's like the real holy gurus who, the male holy men who teach the women and the men how to work with their sexual energy and to not let it go all the way, to learn how to get turned on. Woo. Okay, to learn how to get turned on, right? Second chakra, get turned on, yet how to move that energy up, how to hold that energy, and how to honestly prolong the orgasm. And I know this is like every week we kind of get a little juicier and juicier in that second chakra, but this is what's up. And I'm getting this, that it's like it's transforming, it's learning how to transform what was once, perhaps with the Lover's card, just a one-night stand or a one-hit wonder, or maybe a repeat one-hit wonder. But we are learning try to do this with a serious face, because it is honest. It is, I feel like it's coming from an integral place, but we are learning. We're learning how to live an orgasmic life, people. We're learning how to live an orgasmic life. And this means you and me knowing and learning how to sustain, how to hold the feeling of orgasm throughout the day. And it doesn't mean you can't do things to orgasm, but it's more about holding that feeling of orgasm, while being the god or the goddess in the temple, not spilling your seed out over everyone, but feeling that contained sensuality. And I think of like Marilyn Monroe, how on a certain fashion she couldn't help but ooze her sexuality, was just like brimming. Yet there was a very innocent pretense, and we can imagine, just as an example, that's a sense of like living this orgasmic life, of feeling sensual, of feeling turned on. You could even say feeling sexy, just feeling activated in your ability to create, in your libido, in your life force energy, moving that energy up to the heart, or working with it right there. Learning to work with it right there in that second chakra without spilling your seed, holding it there and nurturing it, alchemating that into an orgasmic life, so that we learn how to live on that frequency as an ongoing reality. Oh my gosh, this reading is just intense. So what is this guidance card about? What is this guidance card about? So we have guidance and success are our last cards. I'm going to ask for one more. We'll take a breath. We'll take a moment to, again, thank our angels, our animal totems, all those divine light beings who are called to join us. Please, okay, here we go. Just as I'm asking, please, here it comes. Okay, schizophrenia, playfulness, ordinariness, and projections. Being mindful. Okay, so we're still talking about this sexual energy, this union, this level of intimacy, this level of being able to share and truly participate from that juicy place. Yet, remember, it doesn't have to turn into sex. We are learning to transform that. We are learning to carry, to hold that second chakra energy so that we can live an orgasmic life. Yet, the mindfulness here, when I asked about getting some clarification for the guidance card, is not to go back up into that mind space that was all the top row, where we're in two places at once, because the mind will turn off your divine creative power, your divine life force energy. Divine life force energy is not bound and limited by the mind as we know it. It is free. It is effervescent. It is just free flowing and activated. And so the guidance here, it's again, it's very mindful because we want to be the god or the goddess in the temple. Yet as we perhaps are guided to explore with this situation, with this new situation, this flirt, this love, it's with your long-term lover, your partner, your husband, your wife, it's with someone new or someone you've known for a long time or a while, and you're like, oh, and suddenly this energy's there. But remember, it's just energy. Being mindful what you're projecting. Being mindful you are not projecting what you think you want onto someone else. Because again, another part of this sexual energy is leaking it and being forceful. We don't want to force this kind of energy on any person, place, or thing. It's one thing to just be your own fountain of this sensual, juicy libido energy, yet sprinkling that everywhere we go and inviting guests that don't want to be your guest. You know, that's, I think, what it's saying with this projections card is it's like being mindful. You know, it's one thing for you to be all juicy, second chakra activated, yet not everyone wants to be there with you. And so just being mindful of that and listening to your guidance, because your guidance will always tell you like yes or no. Like this person you can have fun and play with a little bit, play with that sensual energy, that sexual energy a little bit, and this person, bzz, you know, and if you pay attention, if you pause and you stop and you listen, you will know. And where it is a yes, then it's like, yay, have fun, play. You don't have to go to sleep with the person. It doesn't mean you have to commit and have kids and get moved in and marry. Or no, this is all light. This is moving that root chakra. This is moving that root energy, that orange energy, that yellow energy up into the heart, transmuting it into love, into light, and being playful, not having attachments. And I think that's one thing that's very, very difficult for us in the 3D is because if something intimate happens, then it has to mean something. And then all of a sudden we're looking at that other person saying like, well, this happened. And so this means that you have to text me 5 times a day, or you have to call me every day, and we have to go out every Friday night, or whatever that is. But that's not the case. This is saying be ordinary, be yourself, chill, let the other person chill, so that this grounding element can actually ground the situation, can ground the scenario into both of your levels of awareness, so that again you can transform, you can grow. Learning how to sit with your sexual energy, learning how to be turned on and to carry that energy appropriately in the world is massive. For some, just to get turned on is massive. For some, they're always turned on, and to learn how to like, woo, wrestle in the horses and to like hold that, you know, that's a big deal. It's all a big deal to heal. And ultimately, where is this taking us? Into healing perhaps a lot of parts of our past, of our youth. And if there's unhealed parts of our past or our youth that are seeking to be transformed, the sex and the sexual energy is such a very powerful part of all of our past that is required as we move up the chakras into the heart and activate that third eye. If we are seeking to, you know, elevate our life experience, absolutely, it's almost a requirement in the curriculum is to heal that stuff, learn how to transform it, and then be ordinary with it. Learn how to hold that sexual energy, learning how to live an orgasmic life, right? And woo, letting that carry you, letting that fire carry you, trusting yourself will bring to you this level of success and this level of transformation in your life at this time. Healing sexual power, healing your sexual mastery, healing your sexual past, learning to hold your sexual energy is what this reading is about this week. And learning to know when it's appropriate to play. Learning to know when it's appropriate to play with another in that stream of energy and how far to go. Listening to your guidance. It will never steer you wrong. Be mindful of any projections you're casting on that other person, that other lover, that friend, whatever it is. Just being really mindful that you keep clear, because then that can create just like static and weird emotional psychic things that people can feel. You want to keep this energy up, keep it lifted, keep it in the heart. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy ooh, I meant to say sensual exchanges or sexual exchanges with this person. Yet holding your own sexual energy, being sovereign in your sexual energy, not manipulating another person, not being manipulated by them, feeling contained in your divine aura of sensual sexual grounding, being fired up in it, and learning how to hold the empowerment, the activation of your second chakra in your day-to-day life to live that orgasmic life. I think we're done here. That was a lot. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I so appreciate it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed at my website, TuesdayMayThomas.com, come on by. It's the first page. You will see an offer for my free book, The Higher Self, Blueprint of Mastery. When you sign up at my website, you will receive my monthly love letter. I'd love to stay in touch with you. Do check your social and your promos. Sometimes it goes in there instead of your inbox. And again, thank you, new subscribers, everyone, for all of your love. I bless you and I thank you. Namaste for a very juicy, sensual week.